time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by
PSE Archery, Yamaha Outboards, Better the Hunt, Easy Cut, Packer Max, Deer Camp Coffee, Buck Baits, JPO Game Calls, Limwalker Game Calls, Wild Seasoning, Total Peep, Sunrise Archery, Scent Lock, and Scent Blocker.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal. Everybody, I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight with Dan DeFall, who come bearing gifts. I
brought you a gift. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
You were mad at me last week.
It is Mr. Coleman on.
Mr. Coleman.
I don't see him in the cabin yet.
Mr. Coleman, you're gonna miss it.
Mark Coleman, this is for you, buddy. If you watch later, he asked last week or week before
He's
last.
asked the last couple of weeks where he's been.
Where the gnome, the mossy oak gnome.
We found him.
So he is back. We'll put him up here in the front. So he is back in the cabin.
Right.
We dug him up. Nancy says that they're actually on the bay. Beautiful, but not much wind.
Oh, excellent.
I got to get out on the bay. I haven't done that yet. That's one thing I do want to do.
Nice.
One of these days.
Absolutely. But speaking of wanting to get out, how about wanting to get out and support our sponsors?
There you go.
And while we're at it, how about supporting Buck Baits? That's right, folks. It's just a few months away from hunting season. And you better get over to buckbaits.com if you want to get 20% off using the promo code UNJ20. Check out their full line of synthetics and real scents and other things they have in their line, which they're constantly adding. And what about a fall food plot? Nothing better than using the old Pack-A-Max for that final thing to do as you plant. And he's also got the crimper. You can check the videos.
Have you seen the crimper?
Yes, I have. I've seen the videos. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it is. If you want $25 off your order, get over to packermax.com or give Lincoln a phone call. Use UNJ25. You'll get $25 off there. Hey, JPO Game Calls. Did you see his post by chance?
No, I did not.
Him and treble hooks, not a good thing.
Oh.
But if you want 10% off your order, if you're looking for some game calls, get on over to jpogamecalls.com and check them out.
Mm-hmm.
With this weather, it is prime time grilling season.
Especially this weekend for dear old dad.
And after last week of gaining 10 pounds just by being on the show, you can get 10% off your order of Wild Seasoning Seasons if you go to wildseasoning.com and use the promo code UNJ2021.
Easy for you to say.
I know, right? Last but not least, Deer Camp Coffee. We drink it here on the show, hot and now cold. And if you want 10% off your order there, go over to deercampcoffee.com, use the promo code UNJ10, and you'll get 10% off your order there.
What'd you say? Something about cold? Wait, first, there's one more thing.
Well, no, there's one thing that I brought. I brought you something.
Well, before we get to that, we can't forget our good friends in the UP.
Well, absolutely. Let me bring it up here on the webcam.
What's going on in Newberry today?
You know what? It's 72 degrees up there, and it is three things: windy, warm, and dry.
I don't see the wind blowing.
So don't light a fire up there. I was looking at the weather before we went on, and it's a high
fire danger.
So
yeah, it's red flag warning.
Yep. So don't
super dry.
Don't need that happening, and that would not be good.
You know where you can find Deer Camp Coffee? Is at Cedars up there.
And you got to try their pizza. I hear it's really good. We're going to have to give our friend up at Newberry a call and maybe go visit him and have a pizza with him.
I would like that.
That would be awesome. So, it's 72 degrees out. We usually have hot coffee, but
I drink hot coffee all the time.
I made using, see if I can bring a picture of it.
You got that over there?
I do. Bring it up right there. If you look at the Deer Camp website, they even have it on the website and at the store.
The Toddy Cold Brew System.
Yes, I did, sir. And I made you...
Making cold toddies instead of hot toddies?
I'm making cold toddies, absolutely. And what I did is I used the dark roast stout brew, and I want you to try it.
Don't be stingy.
I won't be.
Fill me up here.
All right. You got to try this. This is stout brew now. I tried it.
I kind of pre-prepped this a little bit.
Yeah.
I got some milk in here and some ice.
Right. So one of the things I followed this batch, I followed the directions to a T. I filled it up, 8 cups of water and 12 ounces of grounds. And I let it steep overnight out for 24 hours. It said 12 to 24. So I went, and what do you think?
Put some milk in there because actually, all honesty, I did taste test it before the show. It was a little stout. It was a whole lot stout. And I like my coffee stout.
You do. So I'm like, I think Mike's going to like this.
I had to put, I put about a quarter cup, maybe a third of cream in it. Not cream, but actually 2% milk. And it's awesome.
Okay, good.
Good stuff right there.
Absolutely. You're right, Tammy. Stifler is the gentleman's name up in Newberry.
I'm going to try this tonight. We're going to publish a poll here and see if I can get this thing to work.
All right, you try to. We're trying. You got to understand, folks. Facebook changed on us last week, and we're trying to figure it out again.
I don't know if it published it. I don't see it on there. Maybe it'll come up. I don't know. We're going to try.
We'll see it and see if it will. We'll try it, right? So
we're still playing with this. Every week, Facebook changes the way they set things up and where we can find things at. So, we're just we're going to see what happens here.
Right, exactly.
And I don't think it's come up.
So anyways, using the toddy system, and you get in this one, because I use the stout brew, you get the stout flavor. Now, talking to Julie down at Buck Baits, if you use the Huntress blend, which has that hint of chocolate in it, you should get the chocolate flavor in it. So that's kind of cool. So I think that's going to be maybe my next one, or whatever I have back at the house. I'm going to go probably either a light or a medium roast, because stout is a little stout for me. I'm not a hard coffee drinker, that's for sure. No doubt about it. But I'm glad you like it. So I brought you a whole carafe of it for 2 weeks. Enjoy, my friend. And there it is.
There's the poll. It is up.
The poll came up.
It did come up. Okay.
And guess what, folks?
Oh wait,
It's
you got me confused, man.
No.
You're watching it. And I got the dang webcam up and stuff. Okay,
right.
So it did come up. Okay, so
yes.
Basically, the thing we want to know: do you prefer hot coffee? Do you prefer cold coffee? You can
right.
go hot, cold, or never tried the cold, but I'd give it a shot.
Exactly. So
we'll leave that up there.
Yeah, and of course that's new how it comes up on the screen.
Okay, it just took a little while, so we'll see.
So, but Melissa Bordeaux from Yamaha is listening in on the show, and she says it's 93 in Atlanta. Is that a dry heat?
No, because I'm from Alabama, and I know what it's like down in the South. And Atlanta's just about as far north in Georgia as where I'm from in Alabama. And it is not, I repeat, not a dry heat. It's a nice, moist heat. It's usually dripping.
Well, I tell you what, I'm just going to spill the beans right now, but if everything works out, we're going to have Melissa on the show next Wednesday.
Talking Yamaha
and behind the scenes and what she experiences from the behind the scenes. Instead, like we talk with all the pros and everything.
Right.
We're going to talk to her and find out behind the scenes.
Big shout out to the guys on the head-to-head tour. They've got 4 fishermen over there. They got the Blosser brothers, Brett King, and Joe Okada. Those guys finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 6th.
Yep.
In the tournament over on Millilax?
Okay, you know what? Sure, if you want to pronounce it that
way. Over in
Minnesota. Go for it, because I looked at the word and how he pronounces it, and I read it, it's not working. Mille-Lacs.
There
all one word.
Yeah, Mille-Lacs. But Josh Blosser won. Him and Joe Cotta went head-to-head in the finals on Friday. I'm telling everybody out there, if you've not watched this on Facebook, you got to check this out throughout the week when they go live. Go over there to the page, give them a like and a follow, share it. Because I had it on my phone, and I'm at work, and I'm trying to run a TV station.
Right, trying to run a TV station there, bud.
And I'm trying to stay and pay attention to what's going on in the fishing tournament, and it had me in. Because they're split screening, kind of like what we do with our guests. And you're watching these guys fish head-to-head, and the totals are ringing up as they go along for 5 hours. And, man, at the end, the last hour was crazy.
Was absolutely...
And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't just 15 ounces separated them?
Yes.
1st and 2nd place?
Yes. And he caught like 17 pounds in the last half hour.
It was like, was it 50 or 60-some pounds of fish they caught in that 5 hours?
Yeah.
Insane. And Joe Okada set a one-day record of 76 pounds and something ounces. It's simply incredible. But it is so cool. Those guys fished their tails off.
It was I was if folks, you got to go back and kind of watch the highlights, because actually it was kind of, Friday was exciting. The finals was exciting.
The end of the
Thursday was
the heat,
and how you're out there. What is it, for 5 hours?
Yeah,
and they were. And I was watching it, and Joe was. I thought he was going to go down. I literally thought he was going to go. He had to take a break and cool down, and it was something to see and watch what those guys go through. And he took a little bit of break, but he got right back up there, and he took his handkerchief and put it over his head, wet, and so yeah, he was. The
end of the tournament is what really got me, because Josh's older brother quit fishing.
That was awesome.
He quit fishing and came over in his boat. He had already sealed up third place, but the last, 15, 20 minutes, he put the rod down, came over, and he was off at a distance and was rooting his brother on to win the tournament. And then it got a little emotional there for both of them. But I'm telling you, man, it was really cool. It was really cool to watch.
It was awesome. Hey, Mark Coleman, the gnome is there. You're out to dinner with your wife.
Just for you, Mark.
You're buying, right? Okay.
He is now.
Just making sure. But anyways, yeah, it was exciting to watch. In a couple weeks, they're going to be they'll be back in Minnesota. I think it's Minnesota at it's called the Pool.
Okay.
I'll have to look into it more.
Well, and a big shout out for the collegiate and high school and junior teams this week that are fishing Saginaw Bay. And if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Yamaha's behind that as well. But I don't know if there's any of those collegiate or high school kids that are actually with Yamaha or not. We'll have to ask Melissa next week.
We'll have to find out how they, how they support the collegiate and high school teams, and they're going to be up on Saginaw Bay.
Well, the collegiate team's already done. They fished today.
Oh, okay.
I think, and then tomorrow is the high school and the juniors.
Oh, cool.
So
I tell you what, I seen bass boats running all over the place. So
yeah.
It must be that time.
It's right? That time of year.
Well, we were coming back from TAC last weekend.
Yeah, on Saturday.
We were like bass boats everywhere in the drive-through and on the highway.
Yeah,
so that was kind of cool.
There was a ton of them that were coming back off the bay. There must have been a tournament up there at that time too.
Right.
Another tournament. So
well, like they said over on Mille Lacs, they said there was a couple tournaments going on besides theirs.
Yeah, a lot of boats out there.
Right, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, big shout out to those guys. Big shout out to the guys down. Bassmasters Classic was last weekend.
Yep.
Melissa was there. We're going to talk to her about that too, because I want some more information on that. But they were down in Texas and fishing down there. But it sounded like I didn't get to see a lot of it because we were up at TAC.
Right.
And so yeah, big shout out to it's that time of year to get the old poles in the water and drown things.
That's what I do. Drown worms.
Yeah, we drown worms. They're
or skip plastic or jigs across the water, something
whatever
like that.
They do, right?
I'm not a fisherman, but I like to spend time on the water trying, so to speak.
Right.
I'll tell you what. You mentioned TAC. Let's take our first break. We come back. We'll dig into TAC and what we did up there at the Total Archery Challenge up on Boyne Mountain. We're going to step outside and we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show. We talked getting into the fishing stuff here, and now we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit.
Well, this is kind of we've done this for the last couple of years. This is kind of like our summertime bow outing.
Yep,
which is kind of cool. And this year we went up for the day. We went
up. We went up in the state. We went way up north.
Had a bow shoot,
and then we went even further up on to the mountain. When we got there.
And we did. And
there you
tell you what,
there it is.
It was a fantastic day. Not going to lie. It was like, wow.
It was a beautiful day. The weather was perfect. It wasn't too hot. The wind wasn't bad. There was just enough breeze at times to give you that nice cool down when you needed it. Had we had this, we would have had our deer camp coffee on the mountain, but you forgot it.
Well, I had to brew it. I didn't know it took 24 hours to brew, but then again, hey. You got it now, okay?
So are you a barista now?
I got you water.
You did bring water. Thank you.
Jesus, birds.
And then they also brought water.
Right.
Up on the mountain, so
it was kind of up on the mountain, depending on what side of the mountain you were on. We had that wind on one side, then you go on, but at least when you went into the woods, it was at least 10 degrees cooler, 15.
Right.
So, but one of the things when we got there, we left here 7 o'clock, got up there at 10 o'clock, and one of the things we needed to do is we always hit the practice range. You always want to make sure that your equipment is where you left it or what you're going to be shooting. And I shot, and I was pretty much where I thought I would be, and then you shot.
Yeah, and shot.
And the first thing he said is, I'm low.
First 5 arrows missed the target completely.
And I remember this because he said, how far did you say that was? I said, 30 yards, 33, I think it was. And then you shot again, and it was low. I was like, huh? So he had to make some adjustments. So we shot, he made some adjustments. I shot again. So we were shooting at 20, 33, 43, and I think the other one was like 57. Those were the targets.
Well, I shot the 20-yard target and it's still low, so
yeah.
And I'm doing a gang adjustment on my sight housing. And it didn't have much room to begin with, but I ran that thing down as far as it would go. And it actually bottomed out, and I'm like, this is not good. I was like, well, that's what I got, so let's shoot and see where I'm at. And I shot, and it was still low.
You were
5 yards.
I
had to add 5 yards.
You had to add 5 yards because at 20 yards you were 7 o'clock and 5 o'clock low.
Yeah. So, and at that point, we pulled arrows. You walked out with me to pull arrows.
We pulled arrows and said, okay, let's go back down. We're done. You figured out 5 yards, and we're walking back down the hill.
And you looked at my arrow.
And I pulled out your arrow and I said, why are you shooting these? I said, wait a second. And then I looked at your other arrows.
Yeah.
And I said, why are you... Wait, something's not right. Where are your XTs? And you had pile drivers.
From 2 years ago.
From 2 years ago. And carnivores for 3 years ago.
Yeah, and we switched... Well, I brought those just as backups.
Right.
But I thought those were... what are these? The HD Hunters.
The Carbon Force HD Hunters.
I didn't look that close, and we switched over to the PSE arrows last year that they provide. And dude, tell me that there's not a difference. There's a difference in.
Oh yeah,
you can tell physically. You can feel the difference.
They're both 100 grain heads.
Yeah.
And
well, one's a little shorter too.
Well,
but I was shooting the 31, and then I switched last year. We shooting an XT bow.
Yep.
And the geometry of that bow is just a little bit different. That's what we were shooting. So
exactly. So I said, "There's your problem."
Yep.
And then we're like, "Okay, there's our problem for sure."
That's what what caused it. So
tell you what, it's one of those things when you I wouldn't have noticed it unless I wasn't paying attention to what arrows you were shooting.
Well, it boils down. I mean, everybody who follows us knows that we kind of shut everything down for COVID last year for a little while. I kind of put everything away because we couldn't go out and do anything. I quit. The only thing I had the bow out for, and it was actually my target bow, was for leagues. We did winter leagues for 8 weeks once they started to open things up. We shot that, and then I haven't picked a bow up since then. And then we packed the cabin up. If everybody remembers, we were down for 6 weeks. We didn't do a podcast or a live stream at all. And I moved into the new cabin here, and actually I have cleaned things up a little bit. You can't see, but we're starting to put things together here. And I started to get my stuff to go out and practice with last week here at the house. And I couldn't find my rangefinder. Still don't know where that's at. Then it rained 3 days in a row. And I never got a chance to shoot here at the house. So Friday night, we were leaving Saturday morning. I come home and I'm like, I got to get everything together. My arrows, So I went to try to find them, and I thought I grabbed what was the right ones.
Right.
I didn't look that close. So it makes a difference, folks.
It does. So,
but even with that, I had to do the math in my head.
Right.
I shot all right.
Yeah.
I didn't lose any arrows.
I lost a few. Not gonna lie. I didn't break any. Just lost them.
Well, as we went along, we kept score, which really doesn't matter in this thing. But
one thing nice about the Total Archery Challenge is it's not a scoreable so-called challenge.
You do it for yourself.
You do it for yourself and the gang you're with or the buddies, and you just have fun. They want you to have fun and just enjoy what's happening. Because trust me, some of those shots at 25 degrees, Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, you got to practice in other ways too. We ran across the kids behind us or in front of us one, and he's like, I don't know, we were about a third of the way through. He's like, I practiced for this and and shot a lot. And he said I should have practiced, climbing and hiking. He said because that's what really burned him out quickly. A lot of people aren't prepared for that. So
he just got called out as a rookie move.
That's right.
But he admitted, he goes, I practiced shooting, but I didn't practice terrain. And that's so the Total Archery Challenge, which I do believe started out west.
Yep.
That was kind of the whole premise of it was.
Well, remember they started with the shoot at the bird. Shoot the bird.
Yep.
No pun intended.
Right.
That was out in Utah. Snowbird, I think. Is where that was at?
I do believe
years ago,
right? And I think they do. They continue to do it.
As a matter of fact, our good friend from Wisconsin, she was part of that. And helped set that up.
Yes.
So
Snowbird, Utah. Is that where it's at?
Yep.
That shoot's coming up July 30th and August 1st. Now, folks, you got to understand, a lot of these shoots might be sold out if they're coming up because. For us, we had to, in February, it was...
Register.
We registered in February. So I know when we were there on Saturday, it was a sellout, and a sellout to them was
1,200 people, yeah.
Yeah, so it was
It was
cool.
nice to see vendors back on the course there. The vendor alley was completely full. We got to check out some new vendors that were there this year, which to me was awesome seeing everybody milling around, talking, shaking hands. Yes, we shook hands.
Right.
Can you believe it? Not wearing a mask. Last year we had to wear a mask everywhere we went, except for on the course itself.
Yep, exactly.
So,
and it was nice. We saw Kuyu there.
But, I did. I got called out as rookie move. But you know what? As a rookie, I surveyed the situation. I surmised what I had to do, and I adapted and overcame.
You adapted. Daniel Burns, what's happening out there?
So there you go.
So
we wrote down the yardages on every shot that we took. We took photos. So I'm just going to let Danny run through them.
So each course is 25 targets. And depending on what course you go out, they have the Prime course, the Yeti course, the Sitka, the Knock-On, and the Leopold. And they also have a kids one, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, one guy was trying to shoot that while we were practicing.
I was just about to say, except for that guy.
Okay. If you're out shooting on a course and you see people getting ready to go pull arrows, there's probably 40, 50 people on the practice line?
Yep.
Even if you're shooting to the side, maybe in a slightly different direction, don't go firing your arrows. He was shooting the kids' course. There's nobody over there, so he's being a smart aleck.
And he was 10 yards behind us.
He was shooting behind. He was behind us and shooting in the same direction.
Which he was just about to get
beat down.
Step. Yeah, I was about to unload on him. But so the courses range anywhere from 20 yards all the way out to 120.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere on the course, but we took on the Yeti course, which was 40 to 75 yards.
Yeah, first target.
Yeah, first target. Nothing better than a 55-yard shot
at a raccoon.
In
some brush.
So when he says brush, in this case, we were out in the sunlight, and they tucked it into the woods, which made it very dark.
Yeah.
We didn't do too bad.
No, not first shot. I mean, that sets the tone. I mean, it's like your first golf shot. You know how the day's going to go after that.
Right, exactly. So that was a 55-yarder, which was like, wow.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Right? So this next one, which was 38 yards, except we were shooting downhill at about 20, 25 degrees.
Yep.
And so
through some thick canopy.
Now, you got to understand, folks, when they put these targets out, they put them between trees, behind trees, which you'll see here, but it's not a wide open shot. There was you kind of had to duck down, a little to the right, a little to the left, kind of. A couple times I know I've hit leaves on the way through.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were.
Right? Well, that's another thing. You can always tell when you're coming up to a great one or you're by one when you start hearing arrows hit things.
Yep. So
other than the target.
Third target, uphill, on a lynx.
On a lynx, and that was 60 yards.
60 yards.
Yeah, that was a 60 yards, and that was a very dark target, which, I mean, it was like, wow. It's dark, and it's up that way.
Binos are a necessity on these.
Right.
Along with a rangefinder, an angle compensation rangefinder.
Right. So then the next target we shot at... So Mike and I decided we weren't going to shoot anything over 60 yards. That's what we felt comfortable.
Mhm.
There was a couple targets that was this next one. This one,
You messed with my head on this one. This is my miss.
I did not. The
ranged-
original range was 95.
Yep. So we stepped up.
We stepped up to 63.
Because my sight housing only goes to 60.
Right.
And I was adding 5 on top of that.
Right. So, so you shot, I shot high, and you shot low.
Yeah, and you said you held at 60.
I did.
And it was 63, and I'm like, okay, so he's hitting high, so I'm going to hold right on.
Right.
But he must have flinched or something.
I
don't know,
probably
because I put it right underneath it.
You put it right at its feet.
So after that, I quit listening to you.
Yeah, of course. The next one, which was originally 75, we shot at 60.
This one was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you did hit the circle.
I hit the bonus scoring ring in the hind quarter.
Right. So that was the antelope, and then the next one,
I made up for it on the next one, though,
which was 55 yards.
55 yards. I forget what kind of critter that was. Looks like a leopard.
Yeah, that was 55. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Did good there.
I almost hit the inner ring on that.
Yeah,
one.
we both did good there. The next one was 42 yards. This was okay. So this was the turkey in the woods, and the picture brightens it up.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, we were actually aiming at a white spot that we could figure out that we could see on the target, because it was pretty brown, and that was 42 yards. So that was a pretty good one. The next one was a 47-yarder, and there we did okay. We hit the target. That's all that matters. We heard foam. We didn't lose an arrow. This was the boar at 41 yards. We did pretty good there. That was back in the woods there.
Okay, so this next one. What's the distance on this next one?
This was 39.
39 yards. And you're like, oh, that's an easy shot. Well, it was 25 degrees downhill. Tell me where that animal is.
Oh, this was the bear.
This is the deer. And this, if you look at the big tree to the left, it's just, you can see it on the right-hand side of it. And you're like, okay, yeah, where at? So, well, I got up over Danny's shoulder as he was getting ready to shoot, and now you can kind of see it.
Right, exactly. So that was a 39-yard shot at a deer.
And there's one arrow in that one.
Yep, and I missed. I won't lie. Hey.
It is what it is, man.
It is. We're having fun. Because we're into target number, we're shooting away, and it was kind of fun, and,
What's that next buck target at?
44 yards.
Okay. All right, then we had a bedded ram.
Oh, the bedded ram, that was 45.
Okay.
So we took a shot at that.
And this one was right between two trees.
Oh, this is the one, yeah.
And it was uphill.
When you put it through your binoculars and you looked, the tree kind of gave it away as what not to aim for. A few people had hit that thing.
Well, they tuck them in. They tuck these vitals in right next to these.
Oh, it was good.
If you remember us talking 2 years ago, if you've been with us that long, this was a 60-yard javelina shot up in that brush up on the top in some stubble.
Yep.
But they had, instead this year, they had a bedded doe at that one.
Oh, so this one was the 57-yarder at the street corner.
That's right, it was street corner.
Right?
Then a bedded buck. There was kind of a theme going. They ran them back to back.
It was pretty good. 37, then the buck was 37, then a 32 at another boar. So
okay.
That was pretty good.
I'm hoping this one plays. This is supposed to be a video here. Yep, there we go. So there's a bear down there.
Oh, this is the 28-yarder at the bear.
It's 28 yards, like almost straight downhill. This bear's by a creek. It's kind of a cool little shot, scenery-wise anyway. Let it play through here, and I'll show you the target. I don't remember how I shot on this one, to tell you the truth. For those of you that are on the podcast, you really need to go back and watch the live stream portion of this. But we take you through the whole course here. So
yeah, you got to see this, because this is just one course out of five.
Yeah,
and this was a decent course. That was an interesting shoot there at the bear.
And then this was another miss of mine on the Puma. I forget what the distance was on that one.
Right.
What do you got?
Puma, where did we leave off at? Oh, 25, 55, 43 at the Puma?
43 on the Puma. Okay.
That was...
And you had spined it, and I went just under the belly at that one.
Right. This one, this was the 40, this one was 39. No, this one was 43. This is the 43 uphill at the, I think it's a ram.
Okay.
The head fell off, the horns fell off. Then
this was the evil one, and it doesn't look evil here, but this is the beginning of the evil finish.
Yes, the last 4 targets was just brutal, not going to lie. So then this was 39. And the only thing that gave us away on this one was that little orange tag.
You could not see that animal at all. It was just a dark hole, and it was at the back of the hole.
Right.
And with binoculars, you could barely see it. And I used that ribbon as a guide to try to figure out where the kill zone was to hit it. So and when it comes to that point, then you're just aiming at a dark hole.
Or if you're lucky enough to pick up maybe a sunspot that you can pick up and you shoot at it. So then we shot at Sasquatch.
That one wasn't too bad. That was a long shot. We moved up on that
We
one,
moved
too.
up to 60?
Okay, I guess.
Something like that.
I know it was a long shot.
Yeah, we moved up on it. So then you got the ram. So then this one, which I think is the 40-yarder.
That's the baby elk.
This is the third size elk. And literally there was a half a dozen arrows above and below holding up the target.
This how far was this shot?
I think this was 40.
40-something?
Yeah.
If you don't realize what you're shooting at and you lose perspective, you don't realize that this is a smaller target, you think you've got more room for error. And then they put it in front of a tree. And that's why that tree, if you look above the target, there's a ton of arrows in that tree right there.
Yeah. There was some money in that tree that was left there.
The wolf shot, that one I think was an uphill shot as well. And actually it was in a lot. These photos actually are a lot brighter than what we were actually seeing.
Absolutely.
Once you walked up on them.
And then this one. Okay, so this is the one where I hit it in the leg and my knock. I thought I missed it, but I didn't.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't get it out, and the guys behind us got it out for me.
Okay.
Don't ask me how they did it.
50-some yards?
40, I think.
Okay.
And that was a downhill shot through trees, so that was an interesting...
That was a tight shot. And speaking of tight shots, you see the clump of 4 trees right there? There's my slow-motion shot, arrow flying just past the tree and into the target.
This was so... Okay, so you know you're coming up onto the last target, and all of a sudden, there's a crowd.
Waiting and watching.
Everybody coming through... take this shot, because it was just 50 yards through 4 or 5 trees, and
the vitals are tight to the tree on the left that I just slide it into,
and it's a couple yards behind that, so it's pretty cool.
And people are taking a junk arrow and shooting it at it, because they don't want to blow an arrow up. And if you look there, look at all the arrows that are smashed, sticking in the tree. Look at all the marks on the tree. It was very, very evil, to say the least.
It was fun. It was that last one. What did I get on the last? Oh, I got a 5 on that one, and you got a 1, but we didn't lose an arrow, and the guys behind us crushed one. We heard it, and it was fun. It is so fun. We had a family of 4 behind us come out as we were walking out, and it was just a great day to shoot and be outside on the hill and doing the TAC Archery Challenge. So if you ever want to go out, you can go out and just walk the course too. If you want to go out and go see and have fun walking the course, walk the hill. If you've got some friends that want to go shoot or just want to go with you, you go to the totalarcherychallenge.com. You see what shoots they got coming up. Obviously, Boyne was April. June.
Keep going. Right there.
Okay, so next weekend...
South Dakota.
...is Cherry Peak, South Dakota. Then they're going to go over to Sunlight Mountain Resort, Colorado. And Big Sky, Montana. And then Park City, Utah. And it looks like their last one is Snowbird, August 1st.
Well, we got to talk about what we did afterwards.
We had to eat.
We went to our favorite little diner there. They've got bucks on the wall. So there was a discussion. Danny said, there's 4 bucks on the wall. Which one, if you had an opportunity to shoot just one, what would you shoot? So
exactly.
There's 2 of them there. And at first, Danny said, well, would you take the one on the right there? Would you take that one? And I'm like, well, no, I kind of like number 3 here. That was the one I chose. And then the 4th option was this little guy here. But, I love the character of that buck right there.
That wrapping around like that is just beautiful. It's a tough sell between that one and number 2.
Yeah,
for me. Just if to go shoot them. But that place had a good burger and a soda, and it was good. It was
Mountain Grill, Mountain Resort Grill, something like that.
Yep, and
they're in town in Boyne.
But they're already dead, Tammy. So it says. But can we still hunt them is my question. Would they know? It would be fun.
We've already had this discussion
Yes,
on
we did.
Facebook, or maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was in Messenger, I don't know. I tell you what, we've run a little long here, so let's step outside, take our next break. When we come back, we'll get into some other stuff here in the weekend, so we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show.
Third segment of the show. Just a quick shout out. Speaking of archery, we want to promote Sunrise Archery, the archery shop that we are housed at, coming up August 28th and 29th. We were there last year for the Sunrise Archery 3D Challenge over at Land O'Lakes Bowman Archery Club in Fenton, Michigan. I got it as an event on our Facebook page, so come on out. They're going to have...
We shooting Saturday, Sunday, with both days?
Whatever we feel like. You gotta... I know Saturday you're busy in the beginning.
Well, we just
get
got
the crimp, right?
Yeah, but I'll be out there.
Yep.
I'd say we start at noon.
So we got door prizes, raffles, and novelty shots. So go on over there, check it out, or come on out, join us. And Saturday from 9 to 4 and Sunday 8 to 3. We'll keep talking about it and plugging it away till the end of August.
The novelty shot. Danny's going to put an apple on his head.
I don't think that's quite a novelty. I'm not sensing how that's a novelty.
You're not, huh?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Now, okay, so that last shot back at Total Archery Challenge, the previous one where I said I hit the target in the leg, I was using a lighted knock because I had to switch arrows. And
okay, so we're talking about this one here.
The jackalope. So you go to the jackalope, and it shattered my knock because I hit the post in the leg. And so I had this lighted knock that was lighted.
So you're talking about this one?
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
So
that's your arrow there in the leg.
Yeah. So I had this lighted knock piece, and it was bright and it was glowing, and I couldn't shut it off because I couldn't get it. So when I went to the 50-yard target, I helped the guys out behind us in the dark by sliding my lighted knock into the 5-ring for them.
And they still hit the tree.
They did. So that was pretty good. Not gonna lie. So that was fun.
It was all good.
But yeah, so that was a good weekend Saturday up there. And then, like I said, end of August, got the shoot for Sunrise Archery, sponsoring it again. Come on out, join us. We're going to go have fun. And then, you did some kayaking?
Yes. Took off the very next morning and went up to the Chippewa River and put in west of Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
Past Soaring Eagle Casino, west of that. Go west, young man.
All right.
So, yeah, we put the kayaks in and did a little kayaking down the river.
Again, great weather.
It was beautiful out. And, saw lots of critters and stuff. The one thing I saw while I was out there that had me concerned, and I still don't have an answer, and if anybody out there knows the answer to this, okay, so that would have been, what was last Saturday, the date? June 12th, 11th? 13th? June 13th. Okay.
Yep, 13th.
So middle of June. The river, we probably saw 50 to 100 in this stretch. And we were on the water for 5 hours. We were pretty much solid paddling. We took 2 15-minute breaks. But 50 to 100 dead suckers in the water. A couple floating, most of them on the bottom. And
from their spawn?
There were different age classes. There was big ones, there was little ones,
Oh.
So I don't think suckers swim upstream and spawn like a salmon would and then die. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But there was no other fish in the water that was dead.
Just the suckers.
Just the suckers. And we saw other species of fish occasionally. Because, I wear polarized glasses when I'm paddling. You can see down in the water, especially in the shallow. But these things, and it wasn't like it was littered with them, but, it was very noticeable.
Really?
Yeah. So, and I don't know what caused it.
I know we get that lack of oxygen thing coming out of the winter.
Yeah, but this is middle of June.
Right, exactly. So
I don't know. The water wasn't like warm, and they're suckers. They're bottom feeders. What you call a garbage fish.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was.
So as you were cruising on down the river here, you said you were on there for 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah.
And you covered up with some good old suntan.
Oh, I use sunscreen. Yeah, and I wear long sleeve shirts too, real light shirts.
Well, they got those UV shirts like the Yamaha shirt and stuff like that.
Yeah. I had my Yamaha shirt on.
And the Cabela shirts, the UV protecting shirts.
Yeah, actually, I have a couple photos of me, but I didn't want to post them after talking with Hunter Bland last week. Was it last week we had Hunter on, or a week before?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Because every time I post a picture of me without a PFD on, I get flack for it. This river, literally, I don't think there was anywhere that we went that was over 3 foot deep, and there was no current to speak of, really. Most of the time we were dragging bottom. So, I mean, I had my PFD with me, right with me in the boat.
Yep.
But, yeah,
Right, exactly.
I had it on for a little while, but then I took it off because I was sweating to death.
Are you finding, as you go here, as you do your kayaking, are you finding now, because you're transitioning out of spring kayaking into summer kayaking, that your water levels are going down?
Yes. Yeah, especially here in Michigan, because we've not had any rain. Actually, there was a big rain that went through 2 days prior to this float, and we were still dragging bottom quite a bit. And I was like, I wonder what it would have been like had we not had that. Because I think they got about 2 inches of rain up there.
Okay.
So you can see I'm running the GoPro there on the front of the...
I know that's one thing that... as we kayak, as we go into summer, the water levels start to drop, and those so-called easy kayaking turns into bottom dragging.
Yeah.
Getting through it.
Oh, absolutely. I got to imagine, I mean, you would know the answer to this, because I've been seeing that people have been up on the Michigami Reservoir. Do you see a lot of that up there in the summer? Or is it just when it's really dry?
The water levels?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends. The Michigami Reservoir is a little bit different because they close up the dam. Mm-hmm. Or they'll regulate how the water is, but they'll run it high, and then they'll lower it in the fall.
Okay.
Preparing for the next snow.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool how they do it. When you go up there in the spring, it's really high, and then it'll kind of
taper off.
So
there's a science behind what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. There is the one time I came up there, and you're right, the dock was 4 feet above the water, and you're like, what? And then the other time it was 2 feet under the water.
Gotcha.
So you're right. Yeah, but that's a neat paddle trip up there. That's kind of a cool one.
Yeah. I mean, you can see right there. I mean, I'm right in the middle of the river, and you can see bottom. I mean, I'm like maybe a foot deep.
Right.
In that shot there. And this one here's the same way. I mean, that's just the way that whole river is there. It was really, really shallow. And you look at the high water mark on the sides, and it might be a foot deep, deeper than what we were on. I mean, I typically think this river probably runs a little shallow.
Okay.
Obviously, except for probably spring flooding season. But
you were attacked by the dragonfly.
Dragonflies were everywhere. That was really cool seeing them out there doing their thing. And here's one of our rest stops that we took along the way. This was full of little minnows around the edges, a lot of bugs, and stuff. That's good to see. The crayfish even were in there. And it's just nice seeing other critters. Obviously you get to see the ducks doing their thing. So it was a good day. Yeah, 5 hours on the water. It was a good paddle. Had to paddle more so than normal, but just because
there was no flow to it.
There wasn't a lot of current. A couple places there was some good flow where it tightened up in the river, but didn't really run into anything that was real super tight where we had problems navigating or we didn't have to portage anything. This is another little rest stop that we had there. But you can see by just the pictures that the weather was just beautiful.
It was
a great day to be out of the water.
It was a great day to be out. It was, the whole weekend was just, driving home Saturday night, we were in front of the thunderstorms.
Right. And that's the one that hit that area.
Well, as we were driving up, you were talking about the night before they had it and the construction up there.
Right.
All that dirt coming to the road, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it was pretty wild.
This is probably one of the coolest things that we ran across on the river. It was pretty wild seeing this covered bridge.
Okay, that's a covered bridge. All right, cool.
Yeah, this was built in 1968. It's I did tried to research on this because there was a guy you can see the guy and the gal sitting there to the left of the bridge there on the stones.
Okay.
On the bank. And we were taking a lot of photos, and and they were sitting there like, "Hey, I hope we didn't interrupt your solitude here." He's like, "No." I said, "That's just really cool seeing the covered bridge." I said, "I've not really run across these here, anywhere before." And he said, "Yeah, this one was built in '68. It's called the Fisher Bridge, and evidently the land was owned, I guess, on both sides by this guy, and he had bison on the right side, and he put that bridge in '68 so he could tend to his bison a lot easier than having to go where he had to go make the long drive."
Oh, okay.
So
easier to just build a bridge.
But now it's owned by I don't know if it's a state park system or if it's county. I think it's a county park, but it's part of the county park system now.
Okay.
And it's one of 9 covered bridges in Michigan. So
the other one's in Frankenmuth. I know that.
There's one in Frankenmuth. Yeah, and I think they're all downstate in the Lower Peninsula. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And the only one that's not readily accessible is the one that's in Greenfield Village. And that one came from Pennsylvania. They brought it over.
Right.
So you can go see it. You just got to pay to go see it.
Right, exactly. So, you got to go to the Greenfield Village.
Yeah, but the other ones are out, out where you can actually paddle to them, drive to them, what have you. So, yeah, that might be on my little bucket list of things to do, is to try to get out and start seeing the other 8.
Right.
Or at least paddling to the other 7 that are accessible.
I'm surprised Nancy hasn't taken you to the one in Frankenmuth yet.
We're talking about it.
Well,
we're talking
what
about
kind of guide is she?
Yeah. Pretty good one. This was one of the trips that she planned, so yeah, it was all right. And of course, there's sky carp, the nice Canadian geese that so litter beaches and waterways everywhere.
Right.
So
they're having their young ones. You got little footballs running around.
Yeah. So no, it's a good time.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
That's kind of a thing that I've really taken to now. I mean, we bought our first kayaks in 2014 when we were over in the temporary housing on the Shiawassee River while they were rebuilding the house after the fire.
Okay. Well, you were right on the water, so.
Yeah. So, Michael already had one, and then I bought 3, so we had 4 in the fleet, and now I've got 2 more. So.
Right. So now you got a whole fleet, and it's ready to go. And,
yeah.
Now, those are sit-ins.
Deer Camp Coffee, cheers to you, too. Danny brought me some cold brew tonight, so.
There you go.
Yes, they are sit-ins.
And then you have sit-ons.
I personally don't have sit-ons.
Have you ever used one?
I've never used one.
Okay.
And actually, we crossed wakes, so to speak,
okay,
on the river with a couple that had them, and we asked, hey, what's that like as a sit-on? Do you like it? And they're like, well, we rented them for the day, so we really don't know. We haven't compared them to a sit-in versus a sit-on, but they said, yeah, he said, these are just a little bit tippy, but, it depends on what you're used to, and, I don't know. I've never used one. I'd like to get in one sometime and just try it out and see.
Exactly. I just wanted to see if you knew what the difference was.
You sit in one, the other one you sit on.
To me,
that's the difference.
Well, exactly. To me, if you're sitting in it, your lower center of gravity is lower, as opposed to sitting on top, where you raise up your center of gravity, which makes it more tippy. That's how I...
That's kind of the way I get it.
That's fine.
So... I tell you what, let's take our last break. We come back. Maybe we'll entertain a few questions if anybody's got any here. Some people jumping in here. I see plugging in. So we're going to step outside real quick, take our last break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show. We'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We're sitting here in the 4th segment of the show. We're in a commercial break talking about the poll that we're running.
Yeah. Do you prefer your coffee hot or cold? But if you've never tried cold, would you give it a shot? That's the question. So if you move your screen, it should. Do you give us the? I was going to say, does it give us the results there?
That's what I was wondering if I could actually see.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there they are. What? 100% say hot.
Right?
There's only 4 people voted. Come on.
That's fine. Nobody wants to try cold brew. You tried cold brew.
I did. Yeah.
I want to try the different blends, and well, they're testing Julie down at Deer Camp's got that. They're testing out that new blueberry blend.
You know, strange you say that, and that's the reason I said what I said before we started the show tonight. You know, a guy I know said that he makes cold brew and uses it kind of like an energy drink. I don't know if they put some kind of powder in it, you know, like a supplement or what have you. I mean, I got ice in this. I got crushed ice. I thought, so they're doing blueberry down at Deer Camp. I wonder, I've got blueberries, and you going to let me keep this?
Yep, it's yours. It's all yours.
So I'm thinking tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to maybe put some in the blender with some ice cubes and make some kind of smoothie with it.
A cold smoothie.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of fruit, so, you know, because it's got kind of a almost a chocolate milk taste. Because I did, like I said, I put some 2% in here, and, you know, I run about maybe a third of a cup.
Right, because it is stout.
It is stout. That is the stout brew, though.
It's stout. I tried it myself. I was like, whoa.
So.
But yeah, otherwise, you know, with that cold brew system, you can probably just try about anything.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool. I'm going to try the hazelnut in it, too. That'd be cool. But, so we got, next week, we're going to have Melissa on from Yamaha. Try to get the behind the scenes at Yamaha. 2 weeks, we're going to have
Ed Graham's on
from
Basecamp
app. They did a tremendous upgrade. We talked to him a few months back. He didn't want to come on the show until I made the upgrade and pushed it. They did do that. He contacted Mike, so he's going to be on in the show.
July 1st, I think, is when he's going to be on.
Yep.
I have to push the new update onto mine, onto my Basecamp app. I want to get out and play with it a little bit, and maybe this weekend when I'm out and about, I'll play with it a little bit and get a precursor as to what we're going to talk about next week. So I know I got to get out and shoot my bow. I got to realign my sight housing now after TAC.
Oops. Yeah, got to go back to the old arrows.
So,
but got
arrows.
that, and then we got July coming up, and I know I'm probably going to head up to the cabin at one point. I just don't know the dates yet.
Okay.
So we'll see how that rolls out. But other than that, you got anything else we can talk about? I mean, like.
Not much coming up. I know, like I said, the big thing for me right now, the big push is archery. Getting ready to. I've got my target set up in the backyard now. I need to find my rangefinder. That's the big thing right now, is amongst all of the boxes that I still have to unpack. I need to find out where that's at.
Where is...
And that's how I found our mossy oak gnome when I was looking for that this week.
Oh, there you go.
So I found him packed away.
Base maps, not base camp. Who said base camp?
Did I say base camp?
That was me or...
I might have said base camp. Base map.
Denny Steiner. He will be heading to Africa July 7th for a little over a month. So we will have to schedule a visit after.
Absolutely.
Now
that we are free to roam the country.
Literally.
Next week, the 22nd of June, the governor herself is lifting her furry slipper off our backside so we can get out and move. I'm not going to get on my soapbox. I'm being nice.
What happened to July 1st?
Everybody's doing so well and behaving themselves so well that they're going to move it up a week so we can enjoy an extra week of freedom.
Yeah.
Am I dripping with sarcasm?
Very.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to.
It's pooling up below us because
it's a good thing.
You know what, Denny?
Open it up.
Denny, what is the main animal you're going after? Because I think you've just about shot
everything. Everything over there.
Oh, you know what? While you're doing that, you talk to the folks. Let me see if I can find something real quick.
Talk to the folks. What do you want me to talk to the folks about?
I don't know, but let me see if I can find this picture.
See what I got to put up with, folks?
I know, right? You
do a soft shoe.
Yeah, there you go. Do that. It'll all be good.
Is it a video or
no? It's just a picture. It is a cool picture that he
put out.
It reminded me.
I wish I had thought about this before the show. Had I known we had time right now, I'll try to post this on my page. I got to get permission to post it first. A friend of mine at work, a guy I work with, he does outdoor photography, and he was over at the Shiawassee National Wildlife Area this week. He takes a lot of photos there and down at Kensington Park, and he caught an osprey in the sky with a fish in its talons.
No way.
And the fish, it's like he's carrying it, and it is the most incredible photo. It's perfect. It's like a one in a million shot. I'll have to show it to you later after the show.
Yeah, you have to show that to me.
Okay, so what am I fixing to put up here?
So you're sitting in so this is a shot from our friends from Kobius and Alana, which we
Kobius. Okay,
yep, from Africa. Yep,
the safari.
Yep, we've met him at several shows.
Dries Visser.
They were with Dries Visser. They've now moved. They're with a different company now. But he posted this picture, and this is sitting in a blind. Could you imagine you're sitting in the blind, and not only you've got a gaggle looking back at you, or a pack, or whatever.
Congress.
A Congress.
I think that's actually what they're called, as a Congress.
Well, I tell you what, I'm getting a bad vibe when that happens. I tell you what, I saw this picture, and it's kind of freaky.
Yeah. It's like, what are they going to do?
Right? So I thought that was classic. You know, you're sitting in a blind and they're looking into the blind, kind of sizing you up.
Right. It's like, can we eat him?
Right? So I thought that was kind of cool.
All right. Yeah, that's called a Congress.
Okay, so Denny Steiner is going to go for a couple of the Tiny 10 Black Impala, a Golden Wildebeest, and a Lequi Troop?
A troop. Oh, a troop. Okay. Denny said they're a troop.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's another species of primates that's called a Congress. I still like Congress because it reminds me of the idiots that we have running our country right now on both sides.
Big shout out to Joshua Blosser. He must be on the show. I can't tell, but congratulations, Josh.
Absolutely. Back to that again, man. I mean, that I'm telling you guys, whether you're a fishing aficionado or not, if you're an outdoors person, you can appreciate that. I'm telling you, you just need to chime in on that. Where are they going to be at this week? Do you know?
I don't know where they're going to be at this week. Or
they got a week off.
They got a week off before they go to the pond, as they like to call it.
Is it going to be after the 4th or before the week of the 4th?
I think it's after the 4th.
Because they always finish on a Friday. They fish Monday through Friday. Or is it Tuesday through Friday?
They fish Monday through Friday. They arrive on Friday. They fish for a week. They arrive the Friday before for practice, and they have the weekend to practice.
Yeah, Josh is on. Hey, Josh, where are you guys fishing at next? What's your next location? And man, big shout out to you guys. Kicked it out there, man. That was so cool.
There he is, holding up that $35,000 check.
Well, go back to that.
Right.
Come on.
There we go.
Come on, man. You're killing me here.
No, wait.
There we go. Scroll down a little bit there. We got to see him.
I'm trying. It won't.
I got to get a new director here. He can't run that thing, I swear.
It's a website, dude. There it is.
There it is. There you go.
Holding up that $35,000 check.
Right on.
Right?
But no, man, it's just, it was so cool. It was so cool to see that and the way that all ended. It was just, it had me on pins and needles. I'm just sitting there watching the ticker go by every single time. Actually, I was watching both of them side by side live. But I was also watching Josh's brother, Robert, making sure he stayed up in third place so they'd finish 1, 2, and 3. So
right. July, the Pro Walleye Series.
Pool 2.
Is Pool 2, July 12th through the 16th.
Okay.
So he's got a couple days.
And what state is that in?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Oh, back in Minnesota again?
Yeah, they're back in Minnesota again.
Minnesota, eh? So, but yeah, go check that out. Head to head. Is it H2H? What's that website?
H2Hfishing.com. Go over there and check it out. They've got 2 leagues going. They've got the Pro Walleye Series, and then they've got the regular Walleye Series itself. But you can go over there. You can sign up, become a member, and then when the tournament is going on, you just kind of go over there and you can watch the weigh live and watch it live, and it gives you an option. They are running 9 cameras usually.
Okay.
And it is a blast.
From a TV side, me working in television, I got to say for a live internet show, those guys do a fabulous job at the way they promote that.
Yes. And
or not promote, but actually put it on.
Josh, if you're still on, did you end up getting checked by the DNR? Because they got checked by the DNR.
That was awesome. I saw the replay. I didn't see it live. And also, I do have to say, while I'm watching next time, don't text, did you see that? Or did you see this or that or whatever? Because when you text, I'm on my phone watching that last 30 minutes, and you're giving me a live update. I'm like, I know I'm watching. You just blew my feed up.
As soon as you said that, I stopped texting. I didn't know if you were in the middle of getting the shot of a lifetime for TV. I don't know.
I was busy watching that, trying to run commercial breaks and everything else. But,
right?
But yeah.
It was, man, it was.
I'm like, stop texting me, man.
That last hour was cool. Not gonna lie.
It was good.
That was made for fishing TV. And getting checked by the DNR.
Priceless.
Camera or not, you're getting checked was cool.
Yeah.
Yes, Isaac did. Correct. That was live, and that was like, and then the F-bomb was dropped. That was pretty good. I can't remember which announcer did it, but one of them did it.
Yeah.
I was laughing. So
here's my fishing license, check it, and I get out of here.
Right.
So it's all good.
That's awesome.
So here in the last few minutes we got, I kind of want to shift gears just a little bit. So it's the middle of June. We're looking at coming up on the second smorgasbord of deer drops for coyotes here in Michigan, because we always go through a second and a lot of places even a third rut here in Michigan. Right. Have you seen fawns yet?
I have not seen fawns. I know Chris Kreiner was out the last couple nights. He's been out in the last couple days, I think it was, and he wasn't out but an hour and shot 2 coyotes. I mean, it was like
all you need to do is use a fawn bleat right now.
And I haven't seen it.
And they'll be on you like, butter, man. You won't be able to shake them.
Right. If I see them, it should be coming up, because usually around July 1st for me is when I'll start to see them in the woods.
Okay.
I think it is so cool, however they communicate, that they just, they get and that fawn sits down and that's it.
Well, we were on the river when I was showing the kayaking pictures. We were heading down. Yeah, you got a buzz in your mic there. Just a little.
I'm trying to find it.
But there was a doe feeding or drinking water there on the side, and she kind of meandered back up. And then, and I kind of watched her. I got a video of it. I didn't show it on the show. Yep, that's you. That's you. Don't touch that.
Right.
But I'm thinking to myself, okay, she's down there getting water. She's got to make milk. She's probably got twins up somewhere, because 9 times out of 10 they throw twins. And I'm like, where's the fawn at? And I kept looking and looking and looking to see if the fawn was like laying back in the weeds or off at a distance, but I never did see her. But no, I've not seen a fawn yet.
Yep, nope. I did see a deer in the water yesterday, matter of fact.
Okay.
They mentioned it, standing on the edge, going to Holly, and but I haven't seen a fawn.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're just right now, we're out of time. So I tell you what, let's wrap up the podcast portion of the show. For those of you who are listening in, next week we're going to have
Melissa Bordeaux
from
Yamaha. She is behind the scenes at Yamaha.
So she's the one that lines up all of our great guests from Yamaha, and we want to get her on the show, get her take on things, see how things roll over there, and I want to get her take on the Bassmaster Elite Series.
She was in Texas.
She was in Texas while the 4 other guys over on the head-to-head competition were tearing it up over there in Mille Lacs, over in almost at Wisconsin, over in Minnesota.
But yeah, get her on. Let's get some behind the scenes. We always talk with a professional that's on the side everybody sees on the TVs, but let's find out what happens behind the scenes to make that happen.
That's right. So stay tuned for that next week. Also, go over to all of our social media sites. Give us a like, a follow, a share. The live cast portion, if you're listening on the podcast and you missed it, you don't have Facebook, you can catch it on YouTube on what day do you post that?
Usually I try to get it on by the weekend.
Okay.
It'll post.
So check out episode 606
on YouTube.
You can check all the stuff that we showed about tack. So
absolutely.
And if you're listening on iTunes, please go over and give us a review over there if you don't mind. That helps us. It also helps people who help us, our sponsors. So that'll do it for us this week, folks, on the podcast. You all take care. We'll be back again next week.
This episode was brought to you by
PSE Archery, Yamaha Outboards, Better the Hunt, Easy Cut, Packer Max, Deer Camp Coffee, Buck Baits, JPO Game Calls, Limwalker Game Calls, Wild Seasoning, Total Peep, Sunrise Archery, Scent Lock, and Scent Blocker.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.